potting
Bonnie,
soil.
wait a minute, Bonnie, you'll get this. This is my sister I'm dealing with. You get it?
Younger sister. Let's put that. Okay. So are you ready?
I am a virtual sister.
Are you ready? Okay. Jane was the potting soil. I am the water to make you blossom and grow.
Oh, Gina. Oh.
Come on, I need a big from everybody.
Is that a
I
big
have to go buy
flower?
plastic
Yes.
flowers for this. All right. So this is not a sit and watch class. This is going to be a doing class. So you're going to have to even get up out of your chairs for this probably. All right. So this is, we're going to talk about the emotional communication part 2, roots for physical and emotional communication part 2. We want to work, we're going to put moves to this song, to this After You've Gone song. I want you to consider having movement with meaning. I want it to be authentic. I want it to be authentic to the lyric and the emotion that you're trying to portray. I want you to be a person. We oftentimes move for the sake of moving. And I want your movement to have meaning and connection and be authentic to the character you're portraying. Okay? So we want to go, oh, I'm going to faint. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. So I want you to behave the way a person would behave. Now, I know Karen and I talk about this sometimes. I'm very shy, you see, and it's very hard for me to come out of myself. And Karen is the quieter one, and I'm loud, okay, and I got a gesture and all that. Karen, I think, finds it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Karen, but I think it's a little harder for her sometimes to be outwardly expressive. And that's why in Jane's class, when she talks about being another person or attaching to the lyrical line, it can help you get past something that may be harder for you to express, okay? That's the whole acting thing. So we have a lot to cover in a short time.
You've got to talk fast, so you talk fast, so it's going to be, you'll get a lot in.
Oh, well, I want to give them a lot of time to do their brainstorming.
I know.
Well, we read the song and they started brainstorming on stories. So they've done some work on it.
Okay, so now Jane, at the end of her class, I heard, gave you the 2 scenes. We're going to work one at a time, okay? I'm going to, Jane mentioned that the first scene could be through a phone. And yes, what's fun about a phone is you can not mean a word of it. And you can say these words, goodbye so long, you're going to miss me after we've gone away. Now, won't you listen to me while I say, I'm just giving you some ideas here. I know I have to look at the words here. How could you say that you were going away? Don't say that we must part. Don't break my aching heart. You can make the whole thing like, yeah. You can do a lot of things that show that you don't really mean a word. Okay, you can change hands, you can look at it, you can look at your nails while you're talking, so you're not paying any attention, so there are a lot of things you can do. I want to do this a little bit differently. I want the same scene, okay, the same scene where she wants to dump the guy and she wants it to be his fault. She wants it to be his fault. So maybe it's because they work together and breaking up with him would be sticky at work. There could be a reason like that. So she goes, I don't know if you said this part, Jane, but she goes she goes by a restaurant window maybe and sees him eating with a woman. Now she might know it's a work colleague, but she says, here's my opportunity. Here's my opportunity. Here's a good reason why I can pitch a fit and break up with him and make it look like it's his fault. Okay? So she storms into the restaurant. She goes, she puts on this big dramatic thing so she can let him know she's angry that he's with some other woman, storms out and he follows her. Okay? Now this is this perfect opportunity to make it look like it's his fault. And she can be very dramatic and big about it. Now, when you're trying to make a point and you don't want someone, and Jane touched on this at the end, you don't want them to get a word in edgewise. He may start to talk, but you keep talking over him and don't give him a chance. Okay? So if my beloved moderator, we're going to break you up into breakout rooms of like about 8 each. okay? And I want you to play with movement that you would do to the song. Try and work as a group the best you can on Zoom. And then we're going to give you about 10 minutes, maybe 15, because I talk fast and I know I can get more in. And you're going to come back and we're going to see what you've made up. Nothing is wrong or stupid. Well, maybe sometimes, you know, a little bit.
We've already been through that. We know that that's the most valuable part because it's the
Well,
funny.
it is. And we'll be very kind to you on Zoom and then we'll talk about you later. Okay. And no, I'm just kidding. So I want you to, can you break them out into breakout rooms group that you really want to do the phone thing? Go ahead. If you really want to do the phone thing, go ahead. But I would like some of you or a lot of you, because the second scene gives the opportunity for more physicality to it. The phone thing is a little more limiting. It's a little more limiting. So I would like, the other one gives you opportunity for a little bit bigger, more movement. I want you to consider, I want somebody in the group to be one that says, would a real person do that? Would a real person gesture that way? I want somebody to say, is that authentic to the lyrical story of that we're creating? Okay, any questions before we divide you up?
Go ahead.
So I want to
Hey,
talk
hey, I
about,
got up. I got up, Gina.
okay, Patty did, Patty stood up. Okay, so I want to see what some of your ideas are. Now, I have to say, there were some good things that came out of the group I was with that were helpful. So even if you don't come up with the exact moves, if you had the right attitude and it was authentic, that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for the perfect moves.
That was us.
Yeah. All right, who wants to volunteer and show me some? Oh, come on, it'll be fun. Come on, it's gotta be somebody.
No.
Did you all just stare at each other on Zoom? Is that what happened?
Yourselves.
What y'all said, what'd y'all say? Oh, good, we can go just take a break now and I'll go get some wine. Come on.
Okay, we had a lot of
Yeah.
turning from our core on the risers, but turning back with a finger in the face. you
Good,
know.
I like that.
And by the way, this is not letting him get a word in. So, you know.
I like that, Patricia.
And then turning back.
And
You know
then
what
turning back, right.
I like that.
Then by the way.
I got to tell you what's great about that. And it's so interesting because my group, we came to something like that of going a lot like a double take, like, and coming back and coming back again. And furthermore, that's
That was
really
crazy.
good.
Yeah, that was the thought too. It's like, you're done. Oh, but one more thing.
Columbus,
Right.
somebody.
Right.
Wait, there's
Jeanette.
more. There's more.
We started off surprised and then it turned to anger. And and then it turned to, well, you know, it's your loss. That was our attitude.
Well, so here's the thing that's interesting about this. Yes, it can certainly do that. But if you're trying to make it his fault, then you're not really angry. You're just trying to make it look like he's a jerk so you can leave. You know, I know it's a fine line. It's a fine line, but Andrea in our group said, you know, I got to tell you, by the end, I'm just kind of pretty furious and I'm at this level and I'm staying here. And you do want to grow. You want to start, like I think Patty said, a slow boil. But I really like, Patricia, what you said about coming back and oh yeah, and that, and you're gonna, and that, and there can be some posturing, you know. Yeah, well, you know, and you can
Hands
do a
on the
little,
hip.
a little tapping and a little, it can be some of this.
Hands on the hip.
It doesn't
Yeah.
have to always be this. And there was also, was it Bonnie? Bonnie who said that. It was a real like, yeah, what are the words? It's you're where is it?
You'll want me only, or
Yeah, you'll want me only, like look what you're gonna miss. Look at this, you know. So you can take a path that will take you through that. Anybody else have some ideas they want to show me? Us, all of us? Oh, come on.
We didn't even get to moves because we were talking about the
Story.
word so much.
Well, you weren't supposed to get to move. That was my class.
No. I'm talking about right now.
Oh, your group.
Yeah.
Our group.
Okay.
I just went with them.
Oh, I went with a group too.
Yeah.
All right, so I really want you to, I know you're like, I'm at Zoom, it's the end of the week. Oh my God, they're making.
I
me
have
do
a
this.
question.
You
You originally said that she's walking by a window in the restaurant and sees the couple.
Right,
So there's shock there. There's some shock value. And
she's thrilled though. It's a great opportunity. Because she wants
Okay.
to dump him and she sees it. Oh boy, here's my chance to get rid of this guy.
Mhm. Even though she's been with him for years.
Yeah, but she's done with him. She's
She's
done.
done. She knew she was done before she started walking.
Yeah, oh yeah. She's been looking for a way out of this and figuring it out. And maybe
Yeah.
maybe he's her boss and she can't dump him, you know, it would hurt her
Okay.
career.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the next scenario because I think the next one is going to be really fun. Okay? I don't care. Like I said, this is about fun. All right, so the next one. This song and dance group, this guy and this woman or whatever, they've been together for forever.
This is
They've been
you.
successful. They have had hit shows. They've been around there. They're in a hit show right now. And he tells her he's breaking up the act. It's done. He's going to go solo. Now she is shocked. And she's, how can you break up this act? How can you break it up? Now, in our group that was talked about, one of the moves was I went, break your heart, you know, because I might do that, you know what I mean? Break their heart. Even though we always do it in Sweet Adelines, I might do it with a real vengeance. Of course, it'd be great for the music. Don't you think I'd really bite into that word? I'm sure the director would love that. But in this, if you do this scenario about the dance, the song and dance performers that are breaking up the act, she's going to try and tease him, cajole him. There can be vaudeville stuff in it because she's trying to bring back the memories of fun things they did together. You know, there'll come a time, you know, you'll regret it. You know, you can do all kinds of things that she might do, playful things to want to get him to reconsider and not let go of it. See what I'm saying? I want you to have more fun with the second one. It still has a lot of underlying turmoil in it because she doesn't want him to walk away and stop this successful act they have. But she can tease him. She can kind of reminisce with him, you know, oh, come on, look what you're missing here. You know, it can be a little more playful.
It
Follow
sounds
me?
like White Christmas with Bing Crosby and Rosemary Clooney breaking up.
It
The
does.
act.
Actually, I was
does.
thinking Easter parade.
Yes,
Or
it
Easter
does a little
parade.
bit. You're right.
Yeah.
Easter parade.
But I wanted even more vaudeville. I think of more Singing in the Rain. Of course, it's Gene Kelly and Donald O'Connor. I could see him being really upset if Gene says I'm going, you know, Kelly, that character says I'm going off on my own. But remember Fit as a Fiddle when they did that together and all that?
Yeah.
All right, so I want you to go out in groups and I want you to come up with authentic moves that she would maybe a performer would do to the other performer to try and get them to reconsider and keep the act. Ready? I know it was like milking a bull there a little bit to get you guys moving, but we did get some ideas. And it is hard doing it this way. It's much easier in person, but it can be done. And we came up with some ideas. So share some of your ideas. Now, remember, we could have some fun with this. You could be a little vaudeville about it on this one. Anybody?
Well, that's funny you should say that because in our group, we kept referencing you and your dancing. Teresa, do you want to talk about the dancing thing? Oh, you're muted, Teresa.
Sorry, sure. So we were thinking since you're together an act, the whole idea was you're gonna walk away from me and like we're the act. Like you can't be anything without me. And I
Oh, I
can't
like
be
that.
anything without you either, but I'm not gonna say that because you're the one that's flaking out. So okay. So everything could be dramatic, right? Because the whole thing could be a staged act.
Oh,
then
that's really
In
good.
terms of dancing, we could, you know, every stanza or every change in whatever, you know, you can start, you could pretend like you're doing the paso doble, but you're the man instead of the woman. And then you can switch over to you can switch over to a rumba, and then you can get really weird and do a tango. I mean, you could dance this whole thing out and
You could,
say it.
you know,
You could be saying it.
You know, you just brought another whole scene of this that I love. This could be the act. This could
is
be their
right.
act.
That's why we were saying in our group, this whole thing could be an act.
That's
Well, and
great.
Gina, what she's not telling you is that she specifically said, well, think about Gina and her dancing. And we were talking about how, you know, you could dance this whole, like, you know, thing, this whole storyline.
You can have the whole
Yeah, we were
storyline and the
picturing you.
conversation, you know, like either shall we dance or
Oh,
some
you
of the
know?
other dance movies.
You
You,
just
you can be
gave me-
talking the whole time.
You just gave me another great idea. Oh my God, there's so many ideas we could do with this. What if, the magic what if, each side of the chorus was doing it like this chorus, half of the chorus is nothing without this half of the chorus.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Good. Oh,
Okay,
goodness.
see what I'm saying?
Okay, if
Yeah,
that works,
So they could
right,
always, so if
yeah.
I'm on this side of the chorus, there'll come a time, no, don't forget, and they do it back, don't forget it. There'll come a time when you'll regret. Yeah, it could be, you could
Okay,
really do
so
it.
okay, so if any group should do that, and it's not the chorus that I am in, okay, can you just, I don't know, remember me,
It's a great idea.
right?
Teresa.
Because like I'm kind of like, you know, the originator of this funny idea.
That's a great idea. I like the idea that it could be the whole act. I like the idea
could be
that
the whole act, yeah.
chorus could be.
Oh,
saying,
there
"You're
we
not-
go.
you're
This is
nothing
going to be
without
in
me."
somebody's package. Okay, whatever.
Your check is in the mail, Teresa.
Yeah, this is a
Okay.
great idea. Anybody else have anything? That's really good. Anything else?
Yeah, top that.
Yeah,
Top that,
Gina, one of the
ladies.
things that we came up with, because he's talking about dancing, was we grabbed the break my aching heart line right at the beginning. And could you do a little cameo of achy breaky heart?
Heart, yep.
Either the dance moves or do like a cutaway to a couple of bars of the song and then come back.
You could, because that could be part of what their act was. You know what I mean? You
I
could
knew
be
I
trying
liked
to-
you, Carol.
You know what I mean? This,
I'm gonna do this more, Teresa.
so in my opinion, and this is just my own personal opinion, I like the scenario better than the other one. That's why I saved it for last.
Yeah.
Because you can do so many more fun things with it, you know?
But you know what? With the last one, I had a walk-off song. You turn the corner, the camera is in front. You're walking, and you're thinking, you know, that this is over. The audience is thinking, oh, she must be crying, and then the camera comes in front, and you have this grin, this huge grin on your face, and you have a walk-off song.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the chat, and somebody wrote, this would be a good package. Is anything you can do, I can do better, sort of thing. I love the idea that it could be the act itself.
So I'm not in a quartet, so if anybody needs someone, okay, just saying.
Any other ideas? Anybody have any other moves or ideas?
Yes, our group was small but mighty. And Martha, please share with us your ideas about two big stars, two big comedians who would be using, we would be using their expressions to deliver this lyrical message. Go.
I was thinking that the idea is that you really want to break up with him. That he that he may want to stay together, but you know you've had it with him, and you want to move on. And so I was thinking of who would be the character. So you could either be Lucille Ball, who would be like, oh, Desi, and be kind of funny and be, you know, just kind of say, this is we don't need to be together anymore. Or you could be Sunny and Cher, where Cher would be so sarcastic and would be like playing to the audience and kind of like saying, do you believe that he still wants to be with me and whatever, and you know, rolling her eyes and like
That's
that.
interesting. Now that gave me another idea. What if, you know how Lucy in the Lucy show always wanted to be in showbiz?
Yes.
Yeah.
And she always wanted to be in. I could see her doing this. Like, how can we break this up? How can I have to be part of this act? And what's good about her character is she's very big. You know, she's very expressive. It's easy.
There you go, breaking the fourth
cool
wall.
idea, Martha. I like the idea.
She's very funny, but she's also very sincere. I like a character that's sincere, I guess, is kind of my thing. But I mean, you can be sarcastic, but you can be sincerely sarcastic.
That's some good ideas. Anybody else have any other ideas or moves? All right, so I'm going to share something from my group that I thought was kind of cool. Like, we were starting to move a little bit, And I think it was Adeline went like this, there'll come a, you know, there'll come a time, now don't forget it. It was, I think it was that line. And she went, well, there'll come a time, and then, oh, I forgot who the other person was at the bottom of the screen, said, and there'll come a time, now don't forget it. So what if you did a 2-part move? This side, there'll come a time, now don't forget it. There'll come a time, and everybody goes, when you'll regret it, you know? So you could have some fun, like, yeah, look what you're gonna miss here, you know? There's some really, I like this scene better because it's more playful. It's just more playful.
Gina, there was one more idea came out of my
Carol.
head that I thought was great. Pat Thompson we were talking about the lines about after you've gone and left me crying. There's 2 lines about crying and like wiping your tears away and like then wringing out the hanky.
Oh, you gave me a great idea. What if this is your prop? You could do all kinds of things. You could go do all kinds of things with it. You could, I mean, this is a great prop, by the way. You can do a lot with this prop. Years ago, we did it with a thing. We made it a Santa Claus. I mean, you can do the time, no, don't forget it. You know, when you regret, you can do all kinds of things with a nice big hanky. There's another thing that you could do. Oh God, it went out of my head. I was getting so excited about the hanky. What were you just saying? You were saying, so I was thinking, I came up with this. Now, won't you listen to me while I say, how could you say that you are going away? Like, you know, you cover your ears so you can't, when kids cover their ears so they can't hear without you're telling them what to do. You know what I mean? There'll come a time, no, where it is. But I won't you listen to me while I say, how could you say that we are going away? You know, like you don't want to hear what he's saying. Don't say it.
Carol Lee wanted to do that on the further up where it says, don't say that we must part.
Yeah, that's probably that'd be a probably better place for it. Go ahead, Teresa. Yeah, you got something? Oh, anybody else? There's some good ideas here. See, you know, now this is interesting. What's interesting to me too is the first one was okay. The first scene, it was okay. It was probably more typical of how we look at it. I'm being dumped, you know, I don't want to be dumped or whatever. But this one is so much more fun. This one has so much more fun to it and so much more play to it. And more of you came up with ideas in this scene. So I want to.
That was because we're getting punchy.
Oh, I'll go with that. It works. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Only kidding.
I'm okay with it. So I want to tell you the 2 scenes when Jane and I had talked about it. The first scene, she's getting rid of him. The second scene, she's trying to keep him. Isn't that interesting? The second scene, she's trying to keep the act together. The first scene, she's trying to get rid of him. I thought that was interesting. The other thing is Karen mentioned in the last one that, and this is my wrap up, that there are different ways to sing a song. Now, remember, I think Jane did Breaking Up His Heart. No, Happy Days Are Here Again. She did, right? Okay.
Yeah.
This could be done as a ballad.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yes.
Now, won't you listen to me while I say, how could you say that you are going away? Don't say that we must part. I mean, you could sing it as a ballad. I didn't want to do it that way because we're doing moves, but think about it. You could do it that way.
Start it that way.
Yeah,
Oh, well, you could do that too.
Right?
Yeah, that's what Jane,
pick it
yeah.
up.
Another idea.
Yeah.
Any questions? I hope you got to apply some of what you learned all week here. Or I hope it made sense and tied it together for you. Any questions at all?
You're a dynamic teacher.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thanks.